I like to add some light, create more depth, but it has to look natural. Yeah, I really don't know how to do it. I don't know. Or do I? Hmm. Hi everyone and welcome back. In today's tutorial I want to show you a creative post-processing technique that helps you to work on light and depth in a very natural way. The technique is based on Photoshop's depth mask and is part of a workflow I personally use together with the TK9 version 3 by Tony Kuyper. What really makes the difference is not a new tool, but how existing tools are combined into a unified workflow. Before we start, just a quick reminder. If you like to purchase TK9 version 3 or any other product from Tony Kuyper's store, you can use my discount code Nico15 to get 15 off. It also helps support the channel and doesn't cost you anything extra, so thank you for that. But now let's continue with our tutorial. A few weeks ago, Dave Kelly shared a method developed by Tony that combines depth information with zonal control, allow you to create a subtle light effect, enhance depth, and make images feel more three-dimensional without forcing the look. In this video, I show you how this technique works in practice and how you can integrate it into a clean and efficient workflow. This is the image where we are working for today's tutorial, an incredible place of Dolomites. But before starting the tutorial, it's important to know how to enable the depth masks in Photoshop. For doing this, you have to go on Menu Filter, Neural Filters, and here, if you find this download symbol on depth blur, you have to click above and you download the depth blur filter. Now, if you want to see how it works, you have to enable the filter, check on this little box, click OK, and you'll find the depth masks as a pixel layer on the top of the layers in Photoshop. Okay, how can I use this with TK9? In TK9, I can create a depth mask. I hold down the Command or Control click of my keyboard and click on this button. This opens this window where I can find several options. And I can use, for example, the white brush, black brush. I can come back to the image, close the windows, and I have several options. I can save this mask as a channel, or you can save the mask as a channel and inverse for several use. For now, I can use this option, save as a channel only. I find my mask in the channels. Now, for creating the channel mask as a pixel layer, I go inside to my channel, select depth mask, and I click on this button, and this creates a pixel layer of the depth mask. Okay, I hide for a moment this pixel layer and I want to analyze the image. In this image, I have several parts. For example, I have the sky, I have this mountain, I have the snow with the church, and at the end, I have this part of foreground. The topic or the focus is to change these parts of the sky, for example, with the exposure. I can use the depth mask for doing this. I show the depth mask level. The really important thing is to select the layer below. Now I can use the zone mask. I select, for example, the sky. I can modify this mask, for example, in this way. I use the curve, all the elements that I can use normally for refining the mask. I put this mask on a curve. It's only example. I hide the level mask layer, and now, for example, I can increase the exposure of the sky and, for example, the contrast. I'm using the curve because the curve is my favorite tool. But I can modify, for example, this part of the mountain. For doing this, I show again the depth mask layer. This time with the zone mask, I select the mountain here. I modify, go to restrict this part. I drag this slider here, and you can see there are some lines in this part. So, for example, I can take the lasso tool and I go inside to the hamburger. I take the Gaussian blur and, for example, I blur this part until the line goes away. Now I put this mask, for example, on a brightness contrast. I hide this level, and for example, I can drag on the right the brightness slider, and I can add some contrast. So this is our effect. Beautiful. Now, next step is to bright a little bit the part of this area of the snow. For doing this, I show the depth mask layer. I take again the zone mask, sample this part of the image. I can restrict with this slider. I move on right for the strength. I can use the black brush for this refinement. I put again, because it's easily to use, the brightness and contrast level, adjustment level. And in this way, I can move the slides in this way. And this is before and after. Before and after. And as usual, I can modify the mask. For example, in this way, I can use a white brush here, and I can adjust the mask if I need. Now I want to dark the part of the bottom of the image. I show the depth mask level, zone mask, go to sample in the bottom here. I restrict the area, for example, in this way. I open a little bit, and with the white brush, I can modify the mask in this way. For example, with the black brush, I can hide this part. With the feathering is really important. I'll put again on a brightness contrast level. And here I drag on the left the slider of brightness, and I increase a little bit the contrast. This is the result, maybe too much. I can decrease the opacity on 70. I think it's okay. And this is our final adjustments before and after. Before and after. The part of the snow is too much, so I can, for example, decrease the exposure before after, and this is before and after. It looks really, really good for me. As you can see, creating a pixel layer from the depth mask involves a few steps. It's not difficult, but it can be a bit time consuming, especially if you want to use this technique regularly. To save that time, I created a Photoshop action that does this setup for you, so you can skip the technical steps and start working immediately on the creative part of the process. If you follow the link in description, where I've in this page is my web store. You can download for free, or you can put something for help the channel, and you add to the card. This is the description in Italian and in English. If you want, you can see all my products. There are some products for free, for example, all these products, or my tutorial and courses just in Italian and English. I hope that it is really interesting for you. Just a quick note before we finish. The action works with Photoshop in any language, English, Italian, or any other version. It doesn't require TK9 to work, but I personally use TK9 version 3 in my workflow every time. But the action runs directly in Photoshop. When you have downloaded the action, you have to install, and with only a click, you can have the mask of depth blur and the pixel layer of depth mask and the selection of the layer below, so you are ready for sample something of your image. Really, really easy and overall really, really quickly. For example, in this way, now I can dark this part. That's it. It's all very simple and quick, saving you a lot of time so you can focus solely on the creative aspects of your images. I hope you found this tutorial useful. If you did, feel free to subscribe the channel and leave a comment below. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time, and remember, less technique, more vision. Ciao!